Hey guys, so today I have a super random project that I thought I would share. So my parents' neighbors put this solid wood bench out in their alley next to their trash can because they obviously don't want it anymore. It actually matches our kitchen cabinets and our dining room table like perfectly. And so I got my dad to load it in his truck and he brought it over to my house. As you guys can see, there are a ton of scratches all over this thing. There is like a ton of chipped wood and stain missing. And you can see that the cat has scratched up this leather seat. So this has definitely been through the ringer. I can see why they threw it out. So the only materials I had to buy for this was the stain in the color espresso. This was like $30 at Home Depot. I got some cheesecloth just to be able to wipe the stain away after each coat. This was like $5. And then I also picked up a 60 grit sanding block and a 120 grit sanding block. These came out to like $10. The rest of the materials I already had, and those are just this like little bare stain applicator, a painting pan, some Superstore wipes to clean the bench, and then just some wood putty and a scraper. So the first thing I did was wipe down the bench with my Superstore lemon wipes just to get it like nice and clean. Next, I used this wood filler to get all the gashes and the nicks filled in. I was kind of sloppy with it, you guys, but I knew that I was going to be sanding it down anyways, so it didn't really matter to me. Next, I used my 60 grit sanding block just to get everything even and smooth. This took around like 20 minutes. I did all of this while Eli was having his nap. So next, I needed to get all of the sanding dust off of the bench. And I was just going to use the lemon wipes, but then I saw a spider. I hate spiders, you guys. So I just got my garden hose and I just sprayed the entire thing. If anyone's wondering how the spider's doing, I'm not really sure, but I'm doing fine. And then I just dried it off and then started applying my stain. Okay, so just a little tip if you're staining something dark and you don't want to do multiple coats, I highly recommend gel stain over regular stain. So next, I started sanding the leather bench. And I know that sounds so weird to sand leather itself, but that's how this like leather repair kit works. I've used this repair kit before on our dining room chairs. So first you use a coarse sanding block to get all the little torn leather flakes off of the seat. You don't want any of these sticking up, you guys. So you really have to scrub at the leather with your sander, and you want to get it to the point where you can run your hand over the seat and not feel anything sticking up. So next I applied this Angela's paintable repair filler to all my little holes on the seat. This is part of that kit that I showed you guys. The way that I do this is I just put on plastic gloves and I use my hand to rub this around the seat. That way you can feel like where the filler needs to go. And again, you always just want to have like a smooth, you want to be able to run your hand over it and it be smooth. I don't really worry about being messy and getting this putty on the areas that don't have holes because we're going to sand this down anyways. So once you get this all rubbed in, you have to give it 45 minutes to an hour to completely dry. And then you reapply, you keep reapplying this until you don't have any more deads. So I did 2 coats of this, but just depending on the gashes, that's how many times you have to do different layers. So now you're going to take your fine grit sanding block and you're going to sand the leather to get it nice and even and smooth. So next we're going to take this little leather recoloring balm. This comes in that kit that I was showing you. I'm going to link it for you guys in case you're interested. But you just take this little balm and then you start working it into the leather using the sponge applicator that also comes in the kit. This stuff is magic. It works so good, you guys. It really transforms leather. It gets it all even in one color. I apply this everywhere to make sure it's not patchy, not just like the areas that we filled. I do the entire seat. It's not sticky once it dries, and you can wash your chairs after. There's like no special upkeep that you need to do. It doesn't transfer onto clothing. Anyways, okay, so I want to remind you kind of where we started. Here's how this bench looked. Here's how it looked halfway through. I actually had to take this inside because it was about to rain. And here it is completed and in my house, you guys. I love it. I think it looks so good. The stain is even, it's darker. You can see that the leather is looking so much better, so much smoother. And remember again that this is a solid wood bench with genuine leather that someone was throwing away, and I got it for free, which means my husband appreciates it too. So it goes perfect in my dining room, which is where I ended up deciding to put this piece just at the end of our table so that we have extra seating, which is always a good thing for when we have dinners and family and friends over and stuff like that. So that's it for me today, you guys. I linked my YouTube channel if you guys are interested in seeing all the materials that I used, and direct links to every one of those are in my YouTube description. I have like 5 projects going on right now. And so I'm going to be posting more videos. This just is something that I finally finished today. So thanks for watching.